to the Three Abecedarians. Today we're going to be talking about Adam and Eve. When I look over and you guys are staring at me, to get us started, we're going to have Jordan, our classically educated Bible scholar. He's going to give us a quick, don't laugh.
You didn't say classic, you just say educated.
Educated, that's true. He's going to give us a very quick, very brief recap, and then we're going to talk about it.
All right, so we've got Adam and Eve, and in Genesis 1, verse 1, we got the famous verse, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." And
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Matt. Please pardon the interruption. When I asked Jordan to do a brief recap of the story of Adam and Eve, I was forgetting that Jordan loves to talk almost as much as I do.
And so now we have, boom, 2 humans.
And his recap ran a bit long. So I've decided that it might be better if I attend to the brief recap. While I do so, enjoy this delightful footage of my cat indulging in her forbidden fruit of choice, catnip. In the beginning, God created all the plants and animals and rocks and quasars and subterranean oil deposits and glaciers and kelp. Then he made man to take care of everything. Then he made woman because he likes plot twists. God put the man and woman in a beautiful garden and told them they could eat all the things they found there, except for the fruit of one special tree. A serpent came along and convinced Eve to eat the fruit, and she convinced Adam to eat the fruit, and everything got all plot twisted, and God gave Adam and Eve clothes and sent them away, just like a couple of naughty house elves. That's a Harry Potter thing. After this, Adam and Eve were cursed with lots of unpleasantness, like farming and children. But God didn't give up on them, just like he doesn't give up on us.
So that's kind of just the basis, general understanding of the story with all of the fun stuff in between.
I bet it was a banana. Brian, you had some questions.
I did. I don't remember what they were. The line that Satan or the serpent uses with Eve is that like you're missing out on something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like appealing to the whole, like God hasn't given you everything. He's holding something back, and it's that idea. Then I think we all have that. Like I'm missing something. You see what somebody else has or whatever, and you're like, I bet I'd be happier if I had that. It's that idea of being satisfied with what you've been given, as opposed to looking out or having someone come to you and say, hey, what about that?
God said, don't eat this stuff. I'm trying to protect your innocence. And she said, yes, but I don't want my innocence protected. I want to know what I'm being protected from. That is such a human thing to do, to want to know what are the possibilities? What's the worst case scenario? What should I be afraid of? And that really is what it comes down to, is to say, your protection isn't enough. I need to know what I'm being protected from.
You don't want to trust somebody else with that knowledge. Like that's, you have this knowledge that I don't have, but I want to be able to decide for myself.
Yeah. Growing up, I was always taught that the serpent was Satan. But rereading it now as an adult, it doesn't say that anywhere in the scripture. And so we're left to wonder, I don't even remember what I said, but man, it was profound, wasn't it?
It was really good. A lot of scholars tend to believe that Genesis was written as a poem, primarily just creating this idea of imagination and creativity, associating the acts of the evilness that the serpent is taking a part in with the acts of the devil. And that's kind of where that comparison comes from. And so we were just talking, before this video of just kind of the significance of that, of if this was a poetry, is this metaphorical, is this allegorical, all of those different things of what, this kind of sets a standard for. And Brian had mentioned of how even if it is allegorical or metaphorical, whatever it might be, there's still stuff that we can find through the importance of the story.
Right, like the little minute details. Like when you read a poem, you don't get tripped up by the little details of the specific, like whether or not this is realistic or something, because there's figurative languages to make a bigger point. And so the bigger point, I think, in this story, after all the details, the bigger point is that whole idea that, God created everything, made it good, and then we came along and we wanted something more. We wanted something else. We didn't trust him that he gave us everything good.
Okay, so we all agree that Adam and Eve is a weird story, and we're not really sure if it needs to be taken literally or if it's just a great metaphor for just the crap hole that we are in
Humanity
now.
Messing everything up with
this
themselves.
longing for something more.
But we also agree that literal or figurative, it does not put any kind of dent or scratch in the story of salvation, and that the truth of Jesus is not affected at all by our indecisiveness on allegory or literal fact.
If you think about it, it's kind of like if you came upon some machine, right? this machine works, and you look at it, and everybody comes out and tries to describe how it was made. You don't have the faintest idea. The person who made it knows how it's made. So we all have these theories. We come in, we look at it, and we're like, I bet you that it started with this piece, and then whatever. Like, we look at some machine that we don't know really anything about, and try to come up with how we think it was made. Now, all of us who come up with theories could be completely off base and completely wrong. It doesn't change the fact that it was somebody made it. Somebody made it, and that person knows how it was made, whether we do or not.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's important that we kind of hold loosely, to some degree, what we believe about the details of how everything was done, because we don't really know.
And now for a section that I just now decided we're going to call the sorting mat. And you like that? Was that good?
That was trash.
That was thanks. I'm keeping it. I'm going to sort Adam and Eve into their Hogwarts houses. It would seem that Eve would be a Slytherin. There are some reasons. First of all, she can talk to snakes. That is a Slytherin trait, is it not?
That's fair.
However, Dumbledore tells Harry that, as we know,
yeah.
there are parcel mouths among the good and the great. Harry also was a parcel mouth, was he not?
He was.
He was, and he was in Gryffindor. So basically, I have narrowed her down to Gryffindor or Slytherin. However, we have some other things to consider. She was very easily manipulated. That's not a Slytherin trait. That is a Gryffindor trait. Okay, they're goaded.
I thought it was the golden retriever ones.
The Hufflepuffs?
That's where I was leaning towards.
No, a Hufflepuff is going to do what's right 9 out of 10 times, okay? A Gryffindor, you can totally goad them into being like, oh, like, hey, I bet you're too chicken to stick your hand in that meat grinder. No, I bet you are. Oh, I'm not going to do it, though, because it'll hurt. Yeah, you're afraid of a little pain. Fine, I'll show you. And then all of a sudden, they're missing a hand, which Madame Pomfrey could probably regrow. Here's another Gryffindor trait. She continued, even in spite of the pain of childbirth, she continued to have children. Did she not? She stuck it out.
That was part of the curse, though.
Surprise!
Like,
Ow, this sucks. I guess no more humans, right? That would have been the easy path.
You're really stretching there.
Oh, childbirth joke. Nice. Being brave enough to endure the pain of childbirth, that is a Gryffindor trait. Okay? Certainly not a Slytherin one. We would adopt and then mistreat them. After she lost Abel, spoiler alert, she gave birth to Seth, who she said, here is a new child to replace the one I lost. Very much a Slytherin thing to do. Be like, I lost one, but look, I made another one. Go me. But that's still, the balance is in favor of Gryffindor. So I'm saying that Eve was a Gryffindor, right? That's my take.
I'm not going to argue.
I would love to argue with you. But...
I know you would. Now for Adam. Okay, Adam was
man, we only did Eve.
I know, that was only Eve. I know. I've been thinking about this all week. Adam was a farmer, which to me puts him in Hufflepuff. However, he was also easily manipulated by the naked lady with the fruit. But aren't we all? So, got it narrowed down to Hufflepuff and Gryffindor. Also, though, in a moment of panic, he tried to weasel out of his responsibility. He screwed up, he ate the fruit, and then he said, whoa, the minute he was caught, he was like, the woman that you gave me, he pinned it on Eve, and then he tried to pin it on God. And that
classic
shows that
man move right
that
there.
that showed he was a total coward. That makes him a Slytherin. I'm sorry, I'm a Slytherin. I love you guys, but we're cowards. We are cowards. That's just who we are at our core, and that makes Adam a Slytherin. So Eve was a Gryffindor, Adam was a Slytherin. Right from the get-go, there was tension between man and woman, and I think that's why it's such an amazing story.
Yeah,
the Bible is too, by the way.
Yeah,
that wraps it up. Unless you guys have anything else you want to say?
Oh, I've got all kinds of. I haven't get into any of them. No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. All right. So while Brian peruses his notes, we're gonna wrap this up, bring it to a close. Thank you so much. Check us out. I'm not gonna ask you to subscribe.
I will subscribe. #ad.
I have more pride, apparently.
Do you know that the serpent
not begging.
didn't eat the fruit? That's interesting. The serpent was all like, you should totally try that fruit. And then the serpent didn't eat the fruit.
Thank you so much for... Yeah, we're done.
The serpent didn't.
Thanks a lot, though.
Yeah.
All right, that's wrap.
The serpent didn't do it. And then Adam...
Yeah, keep
when
talking.
God said... He said, like...